everybody, welcome back to another Allan Holdsworth lesson video, and today we're going to do Lanyard Loop, which is actually, I think, a pretty simple song. This was suggested by a YouTube commenter, I don't remember who, thank you for suggesting it. I thought it would be a pretty good song to do, because also it's a pretty good insight on how Allan sort of wrote songs sort of later in his career. A lot more simpler chords, sometimes simpler chord names, sometimes simple to play chords, but really weird names. But with also a lot of modulation, and I think this song is a perfect example. So I'm only really going to tackle the intro and the outro part. The solo section I'll do in another video. So starting off, the sort of idea that Allan has in the song is he's playing a lot of sus4 chords with a lot of voice leading or pedal points, and plays the sus4 chords in major triads. So the first one is a B flat sus4. You can think of this also as an E flat sus2 with the 1, 2, and the 5 here, but I like to think of it as 1, 4, 5. So it's B flat sus4 to a G sus4 to an E flat sus4, which is an E flat major triad, B flat, G, E flat. Then you take that and you move that down a whole step. So now it's D flat major triad. And then you move that down a whole step, but then instead of continuing that trend, you do some voice leading here. So you have a F sharp sus4, and you can think of it as a B sus2, and then you have a B flat minor triad, and then an A major triad. Then from here, Allan goes up the neck with this, what I think of as a major chord with an add 9 on the bottom. So I think of B major with the 9 on the bottom. If you want, you can think of this as a C sharp 9 sus4 chord with the 1, 4, flat 7, and 9 on the top. But for me, I like this. I understand it better as a B major with the 9 on the bottom. So B major add 9, C sharp major add 9, D sharp major add 9, and then from here you continue that sus4 trend with a slight variation. So now you're moving down a F sharp major triad. So the first sus4 chord here is C sharp, A sharp sus4, F sharp sus4, move down to F, and now you move up an E major triad, E sus4, G sharp sus4, B sus4. You then move that chord down a whole step to A sus4 or D sus2, because then you have a minor triad here, a C sharp minor, and then C major, and then this B sus4. So what I would think of as a B flat major with a add sharp 11, even though there's no major triad in there, it's just 1, sharp 4, and 5. Then you play this little note motif, E, G, F, C, D. Then here you have a flat major triad with the flat 13 on top, and you keep that flat 13 through these next 3 chords, the E, I should say. So you have A flat with an E on top, G with an E on top, meaning a G6 chord, and then F sharp with an E on top, which is a F sharp dominant chord. Then from here you play an F major triad, you move that down to E, and then with your first finger you play an F on the top B string. Then from there you play a C sharp major triad with the flat 9 on top. From there, that whole part repeats exactly the same way again, on and on, until you reach that F major with the add flat 9. It's got an alternate ending. Then it goes to E flat major with the flat 9 on top. Then from here you play a D minor triad, and you move that down to D flat. He's actually playing with these 2 fingers. Because then with your pinky you're going to play D sharp, open E, and then with your first finger you're going to go from A to B flat, you're going to slide up to B flat and then play the open B. Then from there you get this E major 7 sus4 chord to a D major 7 sharp 5. Play the E chord, then an F major 7 sharp 5, and then you do the same thing up a minor third, so you're playing it now in G major 7 sus 2, F major 7 sharp 5, you play that G major 7 sus 4 sus 2 chord again, and then with your first finger you go from F sharp to a G. Then you play a third inversion B minor major 7 chord, so you have a B minor triad here with B flat in the bass, the major 7 in the bass, and then a G minor major 7 triad, G minor major 7 chord with the F sharp in the bass, the major 7. Then from there you basically play the first repeat of the song with a slight variation again. You now start with a B major triad. You're playing the sus 4s in an E major triad. It's very confusing, but it's so much easier to play than it is to explain. So you have a B sus 4, G sharp sus 4, E sus 4, and then you move that down a whole step. So you have a F sharp, D, and then you move that to down a whole step again. So if you want, you can think of this as another C sus 2, because then you go into B minor, B flat major. Then from there you're taking that add 9 chord and then you're moving it up the neck. C major add 9, D major add 9, E major add 9, F sharp major add 9, G sharp major add 9, and then you finally stop on A sharp major A9. Then you take the bottom part of the chord and you play this. So your pinky is still playing the D, but now your first finger is sort of borrowing the 11th fret. And then you play this with the D on the top as well. I did not include this chord in my book because it actually uses 3 half steps in a row. You have a C sharp, a D, and a D sharp all in the same chord. And there's no normal scale that has 3 half steps in a row. So the best way to probably name this chord is a G sharp 7 sus 4 with an add sharp 11. So you have 1, 4, flat 7, 5, and then you're adding in a sharp 11. And that's the first half of the song. Then from there it goes to the solo section. So I'll cover that in another video, and now we're going to go right to the ending of the song. Now the ending of the song, in typical Allan fashion, is a little bit different from the intro. Not heavily. It really just transposes the first repeat of the song in the beginning, and then where the second repeat happens, he sort of just moves it down a half step, and then pretty much plays the ending of it. You'll see when you go over it. So it starts off with the minor major 7 parts, with the B minor major 7 and the G minor major 7, and then now you start that first repeat, but instead of starting it on B flat, you start it on B, so you're going down an E major triad. So that whole first section has transposed up a half step. From that point is where it switches now to the sort of the first part. So then it goes to now B flat sus 4, and it goes down an E flat major triad. And here's the ending part of the song. It just moves up the neck with all those add 9 chords. So B major add 9, C sharp major add 9, D sharp major add 9, F major add 9, G major add 9, A major add 9. And once again, you keep your pinky on that C sharp, and you move your first finger down to the 10th fret, and you have that same weird chord. 7, sus4, add sharp 11, but now you're starting it on G. Then, this is the very end of the song, you have this, I guess you could think of this one as a C7, sus4, and then you move that down to B, and then you add in the sharp 5, and then the major third. So this chord is, I guess, an 11 chord, like a dominant 11, with a sharp 5. And that's it. As you can see, it's actually relatively simple to play, but a lot of modulation and a lot of things that'll sort of trip at least me up when I'm trying to teach it. But it's actually, if you spend a little bit of time with it just to analyze what I said, especially if you get that first half down, the rest of the song is really easy because it's just that modulation sort of in slightly different parts. In the next video I'll do the solo section, which is completely different and a little bit more on par to what Allan used to write. I'd actually think of this song more, for whatever reason, like Letters of Marque, where the solo and the ending sections are completely different, but have a lot of little modulation, little sort of tweaks to them. So that's it. I hope you liked the video, and tune in next time, and I'll catch you guys later.